Chad Moyer with you here on the Rural Radio Network. It is time for the Big Iron Realty's Fridays in the Field segment, and once again from Northeast Nebraska. We're visiting with Brent Svoboda. He is from Pender, Nebraska. Brent, give us the quick update, first of all, from the last time we talked to you about 5 or 6 weeks ago. What have been the field operations that you've been involved in?
Since the last time we talked, we sprayed the corn and the beans with a post-emerge herbicide treatment, and then we went over all the corn with a side dress application of some more fertilizer. We've been hauling corn, cleaning some bins out and stuff, and I guess right now we're getting ready to put another foliar fertilizer treatment on the soybeans.
Well, let's talk about the soybeans first of all. We were out walking some fields, and we did notice a couple of pests out in the soybean fields this year. What are you noticing, Brent?
The thistle caterpillars out there, and so the painted lady butterfly is what they develop into, and they're probably worse than we've ever seen them. But normally you probably wouldn't even notice them, and they're out there chewing on the leaves, making their little webs, but we haven't really seen it to a threshold to spray for yet. And then the gall midge, this is the third year that we've seen that, and it showed up here. We saw that the first part of July, and which is a little later than last year, but we've started making some treatments along the borders of the fields and stuff, trying to slow them down. Nobody really knows what to do yet, so our theory is to just spray the borders and try and slow them down at this point anyway. So last year they were fairly devastating along the edges of the fields.
Like you said, with the soybean gall midge, we just don't know a whole lot about that pest. Do you feel like what you've been able to do this year, is it going to make an impact? Do you think, is it too early to tell? What do you think about what you've been doing so far?
I think right now it's too early to tell. We're going to try to make a few more treatments and slow them down. I think from what we saw last year, I think every little bit that we can do is going to be worth it, because they would wipe out just acres along the edges of some fields last year, and so hopefully what we're doing is going to make an impact. And so far, I think it's slowed them down a lot further than what they were last year at this point. Yep. So,
transitioning over to corn, let's talk about the progress of the corn. Where do a majority of your corn sit right now?
Most of my corn is sitting just right about tassel. I'd say in the next few days here, by the end of this week, it's going to be tasseled out. Really, there's maybe just a little bit of common rust, nothing to be concerned about. Insect-wise, too, we really haven't seen anything out there at this point. We're going to reevaluate stuff after tassel here and see. We're probably going to have the planes fly some fungicide on. And stuff looks really good here right now. So hopefully we can just continue keeping that potential up there for a great crop. Yep.
So we had, of course, difficulty getting the crop in the ground this spring, a little behind in planting dates, probably from what guys would have liked. The status of the crops, is it where you'd like it to be? Are you satisfied with GDU accumulation and crop advancement up to this point?
We're probably, I'd say 5 days behind maybe, not horrible. And depending on when guys got stuff planted, I really think we're sitting pretty good. June was a little cooler than we wanted, so maybe things didn't get ramped up as fast as they should have. But overall, I'd say we're really sitting pretty good. I think we can finish out pretty strong right here yet.
Okay. So you mentioned looking at doing a fungicide application on the corn. Give us kind of the checklist for the next 3 or 4 weeks. What are you looking at doing here in the short term?
Checking the corn over after tassel, get the planes lined up to fly some fungicide on. That's going to be on the checklist. We're probably going to do another fungicide treatment on the soybeans here too later this year, and get everything, start getting stuff ready for harvest. So
Right.
maybe take a little bit of time and enjoy the summer. We go to some county fairs or something. So
Yeah, all right. One other thing I want to ask you about before we let you go, you did this, it's called kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but the Underwear Challenge, but it's looking at soil health and biological activity in the soil. So what is this Underwear Challenge, and what are you up to with that?
yeah, so the challenge is soil your undies. And so what we did was we went out in some fields and we buried some 100% cotton underwear just in random spots on some fields. And the idea of it is to leave it out there for a certain amount of time, and then you pull it up and see how much is left. And that's going to kind of give you an idea how healthy your soil is and how much biological activity is in your soils. And it's kind of a simple little test and kind of a fun thing to do. So we decided to do that this year, and I suppose we'll pull some up here and see what they look like the next time we check in.
Yeah, I was going to say the next time around we'll pull up some of those and see how much biological activity is going on. In the meantime, good luck to you. Keep up the good work, and look forward to visiting with you here in about 5 or 6 weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chad.
Again, we've been visiting with Brent Svoboda. He is from Pender, Nebraska. He is our Big Iron Realty Fridays in the Field farmer here in northeast Nebraska. Here on the Rural Radio Network, Chad Moyer reporting.